Happy Halloween. I hope you're having fun today. It is a gorgeous day where I am in New Jersey. And this is episode 6 of the Extraordinary Women Show, where we interview ordinary women who have achieved extraordinary success and have them share all their nuggets with you so that you can too. And so today we have Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I was so excited to interview you today. I loved your story and your backstory. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about your background.
I am Lindsay Colombe, and I am a top-ranked, top-earning direct seller with a company called LimeLight by Alcone. I've been in the industry for 4 years, almost to the day. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. I didn't start in my current company. I actually started in another company 2 years ago. I left on my 2-year anniversary to start with my home company. And so I've been with my current company for 2 years. We worked to the top. We actually made it to the top rank of the company. I was the first person to rank the top of the company, and we did it in 7 weeks, which was crazy.
I was just reading that. I was like, 7 weeks.
It blew everybody away. It was just one of those things where people were like, what just happened? You know,
who is this chick?
Who is this girl? No, but I've been in the industry for 4 years. I was previously a huge skeptic of network marketing. I was someone who wanted nothing to do with this industry. And then I found myself in it and worked to the top of 2 companies now. And obviously not simultaneously, but I've been at the top of 2 different companies, and I've retired my husband. This is our life now, and we love it. We're lifers in this industry. So that's kind of who I am.
This is your career. So what were you doing before you started in network marketing?
Before I was in network marketing, I was in accounting and office management. And then right before I started network marketing, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 babies. They're 15 months apart. So it was just smarter for me to be at home with them. It made more sense. And that is what led me into network marketing, because there's something about going from being I was an office manager. I had like an important role. And then that's not to say that being a stay-at-home mom is not an important role, because I think it is the hardest job out there, like hands down, hardest job out there. But
so hard.
There's something about having that lack of social interaction and being kind of like, okay, I talk to babies all day, like I need some adult interaction. That's what pushed me into going, okay, maybe I get into this network and I just can meet people to have someone to talk to and like something that's mine. And that's kind of how I fell into it.
It's so interesting because coming from an accounting background, that's not a career where you're really focusing on your sales and marketing skills, right? So apparently there was your very left brain, right brain. There was probably a whole side of you that was kind of trapped in that accounting field that was waiting to get out.
Right. And it was hard. And I actually think, and I think it's funny, accountants are typically known as being very introverted, not very social people. I will say that I'm still an introvert. I am an absolute introvert. But I have found statistically in this industry, most top leaders are. We're introverted people who just happen to unlock this door to being an extrovert, and we figure it out and we kind of have fun with it. But yeah, and being an introvert in this industry, a lot of people think they can't do it because they're introverted. And I'm an example that you can absolutely do it if you're an introvert. You can keep going and like figure it out. So
you're an introverted extrovert.
Introverted extrovert. Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually me too. Like if I am at a social gathering, I am the one like sitting reading a book or a magazine, not the one that is working the room and being the social butterfly. So it's not, in part of me, but for some reason it like comes out when I'm in direct sales.
Are you familiar with the color personalities?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm a green. I'm a green personality.
That's what I do too.
I love it. Okay, good. We're the facts and figures people, and that's good. But we're also the boring ones, right? Cheers.
Yeah, so I was just talking about the color code with our my Visionista Elite team. That was like one of our training topics.
Yeah.
Looks like everybody's coming in. Hey, Joy and Shelly and Bonnie, they're all there in the house saying how amazing you are, and I have to agree.
Oh,
so like many, backstories, and you and I were talking a little bit about this. You probably make it look really easy, right? People probably say how lucky you are. But
that's the curse. That's the curse. Yeah.
That's the curse. But we know that luck has nothing to do with it. And you have worked very hard to get where you are. And one of the things that really stood out in your story was how you've really overcome some struggles to get where you are. And you talked about that you had a history of anxiety. And you just, kind of buckled down and you challenged yourself to make that shift and to not make that your story anymore. So, and I think that can, a lot of people can relate to that, and that can help a lot of people. So can you tell us a little bit about that? How were you able to overcome that struggle to be the person that you kind of knew was inside you?
I think it's really hard to paint the picture of who I was before I came into network marketing. And I had 187 Facebook friends, most of which were like family members, cousins, and like old friends, I had no network at all. So it's hard because so few people in this world actually like had a full view or daily view of kind of what my life was before network marketing. But I was on such a high level of anxiety that I wouldn't leave my house. I was very much a recluse. Even going to the grocery store was just kind of like, I can't do that. And people today look at me and they're like, I don't believe that. And I'm like, no, trust me, it was terrible. I had huge confidence issues because of my anxiety. It's like one thing would trigger another problem. And so I realized and decided I can't live like this anymore. I can't continue to be this person because it's just absolutely killing my happiness. It's killing who I am. I'm not a real person. I'm just this existence in a house taking care of babies, and it's not healthy for anyone involved,
Do you think your kids kind of pushed you toward that moment?
They did. Obviously, they were babies at the time. So it was like one was 4 months and the other was, just under 2. It's like they weren't affected by it. They were kind of unaware, but because of them, it was like, I can't be like when they are older and they can figure out like mom's kind of like not a normal, like she's not acting normal. She's not leaving the house. Like what's wrong with her? I didn't want it to get there. I wanted to be able to go to the grocery store without having a complete breakdown and, all those things. And I sound like a crazy person when I talk about this. I'm like, am I crazy?
Yeah, trust me, you are not alone.
I was literally one of those people. And I think the state of the world had a lot to do with it. It's like, I would go to the grocery store and I was terrified that, someone was going to have a gun and there was going to be a shooting. Like I had that level of anxiety and fear and all of that stuff. But getting into network marketing got me one step out. It was like, I got to branch out on social media and I got to learn that it's okay to talk to people. And it was like a one step at a time, just like we teach our teams, right? We teach our teams, you got to step out of that comfort zone, do it one step at a time. And without thinking and without realizing, and that's what I was doing. And slowly I started going out to like little events and someone would invite me to a networking event and I would just, slowly go do that. And I had to get to a point where I no longer allowed myself to make the excuse, because I would make the excuse of, oh, you can just call her and tell her the baby's sick and get out of this, and I'd say I was one of those people. And I stopped. I had to make an absolute change and say, I won't accept this for myself anymore. And the moment I made that decision and I started being more of like a yes man, things started changing. And the struggle that came from that was intense, but overcoming that struggle built my confidence in a way that I believe only, being triumphant and taking those small steps and climbing those mountains can. And my confidence absolutely skyrocketed slowly. I will say I'm still not 100%. I still have that anxiety. It never goes away. it's going to be something that I live with for the rest of my life, but I manage it now and I overcome it now and I let it help me, kind of build a little bit higher on my own personal mountain. So.
And you can now have empathy for other people.
Huge.
And as a leader of a huge organization, it's important to not just have empathy, but to realize there's many people that could be going through the same struggle that we could be overlooking and prejudging, and they could be your next rock star with just a little nudging.
Let me tell you something. In my first company, I had joined I had no idea who she was. I just was like, I had to choose someone, and that was one of those list situations.
Oh, yeah.
I had no experience in network marketing. I had no idea what I was doing. So I was just like, oh, I'll pick this one. And this, and she was really, really a sweet woman. But I remember her telling me like a year in, after I had really gotten moving and I was actually like, oh my gosh, I'm like successful with this. I remember her telling me, when I first saw you, when I first met you, I was certain that you would never amount to anything in this industry. Wow. And it was like a yikes, what did you just say to me? But I took it as like, I've learned to kind of flip everything to the positives. Like, I don't care if it was meant rude. To me, that's a compliment because I proved somebody wrong, Yeah. And you say, don't judge a book by its cover. It's so true. It's absolutely so true, because the one thing I've learned about this industry is you will find the most seemingly ordinary people that end up doing the most extraordinary things. And that alone is what drives me in this industry, is to find those people who everyone looks over, everyone looks past, and watch them do something that very few people in this world think is even possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. Watch them soar, right? I'm getting goosebumps listening.
I know.
So powerful. And I think that's why we're so connected, because we are, so much about that same message. Shelly's saying that what an inspiration that you are to her. So, you are lifting as you're climbing and passing it, forward in a really big way to your team. Is Shelly on your team?
Actually, yes, I believe she is. Shelly, we have such a huge team. Well, I work with like my whole company. Okay. So we have a ton, and we're a very collaboration-driven company. So there's like people all over. Keeping everybody straight, impossible. Well,
that's what happens when you're successful, right? Then your company brings you in to start training the whole field, right?
We're very fortunate for that. Yeah, we have a very collaborative culture in our company. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah, everyone gets to share, right?
See, she's like, yes, I'm in our team. It's like, yes. It's hard because it's like if everybody understood, it's come down to about 200 to 300 messages a day. And I talk to so many different people every single day. And I always have this like rain cloud of guilt floating over me, because I'm like, I don't know if I'll remember everybody. I don't know if I will remember where everybody falls I treat everybody the same. So it's like, no matter where you fall, if you come to me and you need something and I can give it to you or I can help you, I'm there for you. So.
And that is another great skill of a leader, right? To be able to be relatable to their entire team.
Right.
So let's talk about, so you built an $8 million and counting organization.
That I don't even think I'm trying to think of how accurate that is, because we're at about 2 million a month. And that's been going, I guess we're next.
Oh, well, that's more than that.
Yes, it's more. I was like, how are we adding this up? I'm like, I don't know how this is working, or I don't know what the correct number is, but either way, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of sales. Our organization is huge, but
it's so big that you can't even count anymore. But I think that's important to share for your entire organization, your entire downline. That's a fun thing to track, because they're all part of that success. Right. To know just how big your team is. So that's over 20 million. Actually, that's probably over 25 million. So we'll just keep going.
And growing, right?
Going and growing. And so I know you, one of the things I like to ask is, what was your biggest profit check for 1 week, because just like you said, there's so many ordinary people with extraordinary success in our industry.
1 week.
Remember?
So we don't get paid weekly. So that was going to be tough. We get paid monthly, but I will tell you, and this is like such a hard question. I can share, because I have no idea what a week. I mean, I can quarter it out. I can
we can round it out to a month. We can round it out to a month.
I will tell you that I have seen, my team is absolutely amazing. And end of month, the power of end of month, I've seen a 15,000 personal paycheck increase in 1 day. So, and I think that blows everybody's mind. I remember calling the founder of my company and I was like, what just happened? Like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
Is there a wrong zero?
Right. You guys, something's wrong with the system. I don't know what's going on. No, it was crazy. But at this, oh gosh, knowing that people are going to watch this is so hard.
I think
that's a good one, right?
That's a good one, right? That's pretty exciting. And that is the power of,
it's huge,
of growing and leading and helping others succeed. That's what you get paid to do, is to help others.
Right.
And the better you are at that, the more money they're making. It's not even about what you're earning. It's the more money that they're earning. Right. And so let's talk about how you were able to skyrocket your success so quickly. What are some of the things you did that you think were instrumental once you really focused on yourself, and a lot of personal development went into that? What were some of the things you did strategically to really make that success happen?
I think strategically, I worked to be different. When I came into this industry, because I was that previous, and network marketing, I looked at network marketing and I was like, I want nothing to do with this. Because I came in as that skeptic, as the hard, and it's like I had this idea and it's wrong. It's wrong. Like, now that I know this industry, I know that it's the most amazing industry in the world. But because I came in like that, I looked at how I ran my business and said, I have to be completely different. I have to be unmistakably different. I have to never be confused with this, because I was so concerned with anyone judging me. And this is common. I coach women every single day who have this horrible fear that someone's going to judge them for being in direct sales, or they're going to annoy someone. We've all heard that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about standing out, doing things 100% different, understanding that there's old school ways and then there's this new school way that needs to be chipped out of the rock, right?
Yes.
And so that's what I began doing. And instead of keeping it to myself, because I didn't come into this industry to make money, I actually didn't. I was like, I'm never going to make all this, like the money that people are saying they're making. That ain't happening. But because I came in craving a community, because I was so reclusive and that was what I knew I needed to do, what I did was I started sharing, and I said, I'm going to share this with everything I figure out that works, I'm going to share. And in my starter company, I very much branded myself as an attraction marketing leader. I hate being a salesperson. I don't want to go to someone to sell. I'm going to teach myself how to get people to come to my door, get them to knock on my door. And so I was introducing this idea to anyone who would listen, and it was working for them. And that gave me more confidence, which made me feel like I'm doing this, I'm doing it right. People are listening. They want to hear what I have to say. And I had no idea why. I was just like, whatever, I'm just having fun with this. But having fun, sharing, being collaborative, never competitive. I'm the least competitive person in the world. Like, people will try and be competitive with me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I don't know what to do. But I think centering it around having fun, doing what you love. And anytime you get into a space where you're like not having fun with your business, you're going to look around and say, I'm not being successful either. And if you go back to having fun, you remember the things that you love and you have fun with them, the success just naturally comes.
So true.
It really, and people forget about that. We lose sight of that so often But I honestly believe that the personal development, figuring things out, being hungry for that information and going out and finding it, not waiting for someone to deliver it to me, not asking someone to train it, me personally, going out and actually finding this huge vast of information that's out there and putting it to use and tweaking it the way I needed it to. It's like, those are the reasons that I became successful.
So a lot of it is mindset.
100% mindset.
And I totally agree with that. And let's talk about a little bit about attraction marketing, because that's such a buzzword now. I was doing it before it was even called that. And so I get that question asked a lot, like, do you know what attraction marketing is? And how do I, and it really is such a simple concept of, being the person that you want to sponsor, right? And attracting more of those like-minded people to you. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Exactly. That's it right there. Like, that is the answer, but.
So what's your vibe, right? And I think that we have to think bigger in order to attract other people that do as well, even if we're not quite ready or we're not quite there yet. And so what did your personal brand look like? Did you come up with your own little tagline? How were you branding yourself at that time?
To be perfectly honest, in the beginning, is that what you're asking, right?
Yes.
In the beginning.
When you were getting started. It
was a constant evolution of figuring things out. So I can't say that I had a tagline. I had a way of presenting myself and doing business that I now look back on and I'm like, what was I doing? But it's understanding that it was this constant evolution. And so my brand wasn't centered around a tagline or an image or a logo or anything like that. My brand was, I'm honest. I'm going to tell you the truth. And that was literally what my brand started as was, I'm not going to be the typical. Of course, someone's at my front door. I'm so sorry.
You're attracting somebody right now.
Hey, they're coming to my door. See, I'm telling you this works. No, I think my brand honestly was centered around trust. If I could pick anything, I knew that my clients trust me, because even if in my line at the time, there was a product that I didn't think that they really could benefit from, I would tell them that. I would absolutely tell them that, and they knew that they could trust me with that. Huh?
Someone's here.
Okay. Sorry.
Someone's here.
Mom.
Well, this is live video.
Yes.
But I'm glad you said that, because it really is about being real and being authentic and having that trust, being somebody that somebody wants to do business with. And I think in today's world, so many people get caught up and sometimes get thrown down this rabbit hole of, and now I need a logo, and now I need my own graphics. It's like your personal brand is literally who you are. Yes. And you are that person without any flashy graphics to go with it. And that's what makes it so duplicatable. Right? Is that you were just being yourself.
Exactly. And I'm very centered on maintaining that brand. And that brand is more important than a logo. Like I've had logos made. None of them stick because I end up hating them in 6 months. Like I can't. And that's the funny thing is technically I've had a really hard time nailing down a really specific brand, but I know that my brand isn't a logo. It's not an image. It's not a font. It's not a tagline. It's me. And people get to know me and they trust that. And that's what I really bank on. So
I love that. Thank you so much for saying that, because at the end of the day, that is all you need to do. It's who you are, where you're going, and where are you taking other people. Right. That's personal branding. So I know you have been doing a lot of reinventing the party, and I love that. And doing business in a different way, in more social ways. So let's talk about that. So you got started and started doing more online. What does that look like for you? Where's most of your business coming from right now?
Most of my business, I have we all know that there's like a million different avenues you can work in this business. You can work vendor events, home parties, and there's a mix of those. One-on-one social media, I could go on and on and on. We all know this. For me personally, social media is where it started because that was where I was comfortable. I wasn't comfortable being in front of people at the time. I wasn't comfortable like talking in front of crowds. Like I still, to this day, I have spoken at conventions. I have run giant 1,000 people classes. Like I'm the stage girl now, but even still that stuff scares me. So when I started, it was very heavily social media based. And then it transitioned into one-on-ones. And I work really, really well one-on-one with people, and being able to identify what their needs are, what the problems are, how to provide them a solution and be a service to them. That is pretty much how I work over parties. So the bulk of my business in the beginning was social media with a tiny bit of one-on-one. Now it's kind of flip-flopped where I do mostly one-on-ones with a little bit of social media. But go ahead.
So you're really providing a consultation, it sounds like, where you're customizing what somebody needs to solve a problem that they have.
Right. Because we're in what I sell is professional cosmetics. And
maybe we should say that.
Yeah, maybe I should know.
Nobody knows.
That's really important. So professional cosmetics are, you're going to require color matching, skin typing. People want to know what's it going to feel like. How does it lay on the skin? They want to know. They want to see things like that in person. And I think when you're with somebody one-on-one and you have that connection and you can, there's just the distraction of social media is not there. It's just you and another person, and you just work so much more cleanly and efficiently. And I think that they get more out of it. You get more out of it. It's just a win-win, in my opinion.
So are you doing that literally in person, or is some of that happening virtually through a video conference type?
I do actually do video because my network, because of, just the networking that I've done, it runs across the entire nation. It's like I even have global customers, and all that stuff. So a lot of it has to happen on video. I actually do. The Facebook Live video was like a godsend. I was so excited when they did that. It made life so much easier.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. But for my local people, it's in person. I like having that personal touch with people. I like sitting down with them. I like doing that. But I do a ton of them virtually, and they're fun. They're honestly a lot of fun. I have a ton of fun with them.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how fun it is to party virtually, just
totally,
especially with live video, just like we are right now. We're like totally hanging out.
Hey, we're having fun.
We're having fun and hanging out. Right. And, especially in today's world, I think the less you call it a party, the more you make it easy for people to say yes. And I talk about that a lot. If you take away all the obstacles that people have, they'll say yes.
I always tell my team, I'm like, think of if you put yourself in the consumer's position first, always. That's always what you start with. Is if I were receiving this, would I roll my eyes at it? Would I say, oh, another one of these? Or would I go, I've never seen anything like that before. What is this? Want to click on it. It's like the curiosity that you can create and making it very different, because believe it or not, and I hate to say this, but there is a stigma in direct sales out there. There is. I had it, I was part of it before I came into this industry. And so we have to be in tune to that. We have to be aware of that before we go out and market, because being different, that could be critical to your success, is if you're not being a little bit different, if you're not kind of painting it a different color so you can get there. It's all the same thing, right? But if we do it just a little bit differently, and we stand out just a little bit, and we give them a new experience that they're not necessarily expecting, we have total success, Yeah.
You cannot copy paste.
No. Oh my God. We have a rule, and I have a rule in my team where it's like, you do not do that. Just don't,
Don't be that person. Don't be that direct seller. Yes. And that obviously there is a reason that there's some of those stigmas and stereotypes, but guess what? Every single industry has them.
Yep. That's right.
Accountants have them. Lawyers have them. So it's not just us,
Yep.
Don't let that stop you. Be the person that redefines it for yourself and changes those stereotypes and those stigmas.
Absolutely.
Well, it's already been 30 minutes. Can you believe it? It's time to, I know it goes so fast. It's time to wrap up. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. Where can people find you? Obviously on Facebook.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't understand Snapchat, guys. I don't know how to do Snapchat, but my hashtag or my link or handle is just my name, Lindsay Colombe, Colombe. And yeah, that's where I'm at on social media. I love connecting with people. I'm all about the personal development. So if you like personal development, that's what you're going to find with me. Outside of that, that's it.
So no Marie, just Lindsay Colombe.
Lindsay Colombe, LINDSAY COLOMBE.
All right, I'm putting it on screen so people can find you. And
oh, it's LIN.
What did I do?
It's okay.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. And
there's like 500 ways to spell Lindsay, so don't feel bad at all.
I'm Lynn with a Y, so it's just
habit
in my brain. So yes, make sure you reach out to Lindsay. Tell her you saw her on the show. Say hi.
I would love it.
And tell her how awesome she is. And okay, so final words. I know you had a couple apps that you recommended. Everybody always wants to know, like, what are the cool apps to use? And some of them I've never heard of before. So
there's a new one. Oh my gosh. I haven't even gotten to play with it yet, but it's amazing. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's called Into Live Pro, INTOLIVE Pro. Now this is like going to be so much fun. Basically you can create like an image, and then on Facebook, if someone holds the image, what happens is it starts a video that you've set. It's just so cool. You got to go play with it. Some other apps. I'm trying to think of what I have.
Is that on your phone?
Yes, it's a phone app. I have an iPhone.
Okay.
So I think it's on Android. I'm certain it's on Android. But it's a really cool new app that I'm just kind of getting familiarized with and kind of playing around with. But for imagery apps, is that the apps that you're asking?
Just any, it could be a system, organization, whatever you're using.
Honestly, I use my phone for everything. I think having good imagery is perfect. Like if you're going to promote a product, stop using corporate imagery, stop using the stuff that they provide you, and start taking your own photos and making them beautiful. I love just my camera app. I love Rana Designs.
That was the one that I saw.
That one I love. I've been using Rana Designs for literally years. Rana Designs, Photofy, those are great apps that you can really make your images cute. You can add the text to them. You can make them very pretty and clean and all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm like, everything I do is on this thing right here. This phone right here is like life to me. But you could find a lot of fun apps. But that Into Live, guys, oh my gosh, you got to play with it. It's amazing.
I'm downloading it right after we're done. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got to hang out today. Feel better.
Thank
I know
you.
You've got a little cold. You're fighting there.
Yeah.
Have a great. So how old are the kids now?
Kids now are 4 and 5. So we got a kindergartner now. One of them's in school next year. The other one goes, and we're gonna have so much time on our hands. We won't know what to do with ourselves. So.
It's got to be amazing. Are they going trick or treating tonight?
Oh yes, we're the neighborhood that gets annihilated. We're the full-size candy bar neighborhood, so we're gonna have our hands full tonight. But yeah, we'll all be out.
All right. Well, I'm sure they're anxious to get started. So have a great time.
Thank you guys.
Thanks again so much. I totally appreciate you. Have a fun Halloween. Thanks.
You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.